So there is this letter that Peter Obi's lawyer sent to Deji, and it's been with a mixed reaction. I'm gonna go through that, and then I would I'm gonna react. So let's see. So this was sent on the 26th, so that was on Tuesday. Demand for retraction and apology for defamatory publication against His Excellency Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. We act as a solicitor for Obi, okay, which was a former governor of Anambra State and the presidential candidate of Labour Party in the 2023 election. So it's been brought to our client's attention that through your social media handle at Adeyanju Deji on the platform X, formerly known as Twitter, you have repeatedly published false, malicious, grossly defamatory statement concerning him, calculated to injure his reputation before right-thinking members of the Nigerian public, blah, 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 and the international public. See, again, I don't know who is advising Peter Obi to go on this route. I don't. I'm not so sure how he wants this to play out, because there's an higher standard for defamation cases. Very, very high standard for that. Number one, Peter Obi is a public person of interest, and it becomes so difficult for you to be able to claim that this person came to defame me. You must, number one, be able to prove that Deji Adeyanju knew the information he was sharing was false, but still went ahead anyways. If Deji Adeyanju comes to say he believes that information to be true, then you cannot hold him for defamation. Now, they listed some of the tweets that Deji Adeyanju actually published. And this one says, oh, this was what? The recent one, the most recent one, 21st of August, 2025. You falsely allege this against him, that Peter Obi can only be president of the obedience on social media. You see that my one vote, I would rather give it to Tinubu. Now, Deji Adeyanju is not a Tinubu fan. There's been some theory that maybe he's a covert Baptist guy, or possibly he leans towards being an APC guy. No, this guy has come out to tout this government. This guy has come out to, do crazy stuff against the APC, calling names and all that. If you know how this guy started, you would know that even he did more than what BDM is doing today. Now he says, I would rather give it to Tinubu than the leader of the mob. Political extremists who do not want Nigerians to criticize their presidential candidate have no place in our polity. Excuse me. Where's the defamation here? How do you go to court and say, my lord? Deji Adeyanju on the 21st of August made this statement that he is a president of obedience on social media. There's no defamation there. Peter Obi has actually come out to address the obedient people. Then secondly, he says the leader of the mob. That is a political statement. That is a political statement. And I don't want to go into what the obedience have even called Tinubu. These political extremists who do not want Nigeria to criticize their presidential candidate have no place in our polity. If you're presenting this to the judge will be like, okay, sorry, what is this? You want him to apologize for this? I mean, I don't get it. How? That doesn't even make any sense. So this was their first case scenario. Let's look at the next one. Let me see if I can expand that. Okay, this can be expanded. Let me just see if I can expand this. Okay, let's just leave that as is. If Peter Obi feels I have ever defended him, let him sue me. That was a tweet. Stop crying on his behalf. Let him sue me so that I can bring out evidence to prove the things that I have said against him. So now Deji saying that he's got evidence of what Peter Obi has done, and that he's ready to go to court to prove it. I said I met him and he tried to give me money and called it thank you for coming. It's 100% true. Now, this is a statement. This is a statement coming from, you say, oh, I met this guy and he wanted to give me money. Now, maybe the money is not even a thank you. Maybe it's just a normal, maybe transport stuff or whatever. He said he took an Anambra State phone and invested in his family business. It is true. And lastly, I said he's a religious beggar for using religion to campaign. It's also true. Now, let me just focus on that religion stuff, because there is this infamous audio that people call Yes Daddy that circulated, I think immediately after he lost the presidency, where he called the bishop of is it Winners Chapel, Living Faith, and he made this infamous stuff that, oh yes Daddy, there's a religious war. Let me see if I can get that, because that was his voice, and those that shared the stuff said, oh, that he should come and sue them. And since then, he hasn't sued. Let me see if I can get that. Yes, Daddy. Yeah, okay. See this one?
Good morning, Daddy.
Praise the Lord. So I the East generally.
It is okay. This is quiet.
Okay.
Thank
And
you,
the little
Daddy.
birds, how are we doing?
Little bit, we're okay. But in places like Kogi, Kwara, and Niger, is a worrisome place.
Well, we'll get through to Kuala.
Oh, fantastic. I went to Kwara and visited Olofa of Ofa, who told me that nobody has ever come here. With you, no problem. But the Christian community in Kwara and Niger, and listen, I'm also working in Kogi, same way.
Okay. Then I will target this clip.
So again,
Thank you.
yeah. So that's it, you know.
Thank you,
So-
Daddy.
But in the name of
Amen.
So he
Daddy, I
he
need
did
you
this
to
thing.
speak to
you know,
the people
Well
in
said.
the southwest.
he's
Your people
not,
in the southwest and Kwara.
okay. I've been
The
in touch with
Christians.
Kuala people.
The Christians in the southwest and Kwara. This is a religious war.
exactly. That was what I wanted to hear. This is a religious war. I mean, that was what he said. This is a religious war. Okay. How? What was the thinking process for him to have said that? I don't know. I don't. That statement can lead to a very, very deep mistrust between both communities, and even deep insurgents or deep religious war. This is a religious war.
The Christians in the southwest and Kwara. This is a religious war.
Okay, so again,
believe that.
just to go back, and Pastor said, well, he believes so. I wouldn't comment on that. But again, that is it. So that's what this guy is saying. And lastly, I said he's a religious bigot for using religious to campaign. It's also true. So I don't know how Peter Obi would want to go to court on this. Because the problem is when Deji gets to exactly. Like, you can't be mixing both the gospel and politics, and then you get to a point where there is no clear demarcation. And that's a valid concern, to be honest. So that's that. Then again, this was what happened. They listed other tweets. Oh, on August 6, 2025, you said Peter Obi is a religious bigot for using religious to campaign during the last election. Well, we just heard the audio. Now, they went back to 2024. 2024, a statement made in 2024. So just to give you, some insights to his thought, Peter Obi is a fraud. I'm 100% sure he pays all the influencer promoting him online. He tries to pay me after I met him for a 2-hour meeting at his instance during the campaign. Okay, this was another one. Now, on 4 April 2023, Peter Obi is a product of bad upbringing. Again, how is this defamation? How is this? How is this defamation? Okay, how is this defamation? And only people who are badly brought up use religion and tribe. So it's been saying tribe and religion, tribe and religion. Those are the two things. Your education is a waste. If all that matters to you is your tribe or religion, but you come out deceiving people and acting civilized. 2023, Peter Obi is the religious bigot. Peter Obi, the religious bigot, has been exposed. I kept screaming it all along as I went from church to church campaigning for 7 months. Once a religious bigot, always a religious bigot. He did the same as governor of Anambra. Even Buhari in all his majesty wasn't this bad. So he's talking about the fact that Peter Obi used religion also as a tool in Anambra State. And that is not hidden, it's out there. Okay, it's out there. Like if you, let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is a 7-year video. Peter Obi has split Anambra State. And what this gentleman was saying was that Peter Obi actually took the various religious sects in Anambra and then pinned them against each other. That is we had the Catholic, the Anglicans, and all of those. This was 7 years. This was even before he got this national platform to run as a president. So again, back to Deji Adeyanju's tweet. And then look at this one. Peter Obi is a fraud. I'm sure he pays all the influencer promoting online. He tried to pay me after this year. I've read this before. He called the money. Thank you for coming. I repeat, Peter Obi is a fraud. Let him sue me if he's not. Peter Obi is a product of bad upbringing. We've said that one. His bigot has been exposed. Peter Obi has always been a scum and will remain one. So again, there's a personal vendetta. But in all of this, I still don't see how you can take this to court and present this in a law court. Because if you take Deji to court, then Deji has the right to make some demands. Oh, I want to see this document. I want to see what happens to the money you actually said you saved. I want to see what happened to this. They can actually subpoena the People Gazette's video or the audio between him and the bishop. So I'm saying I'm not so sure if this is the right step for him to take. Now let's go again. Now it goes really personal here, and now we're looking at financial stuff. Says Peter Obi as governor of Anambra lodged billions of Anambra State fund in a bank that had interest and was generating interest from the same even after he left office. If that is not corruption and abuse of office, I don't know what else is. This is the same thing as SPV and Alpha Beta. Now, Alpha Beta is what the arrangement that Tinubu had in Lagos, that he could, get some percentage from whatever tax that is being collected or whatever revenue that is being generated on behalf of the government of Lagos State from Alpha Beta. Now, he's saying that Peter Obi earned something from the billions that was lodged in certain banks. Again, I don't have any evidence of that. But the truth is, if this goes to trial, they're going to ask Peter Obi they're going to make demands to say, we want to see what happened, we want to see if there was any payment made to Peter Obi. Maybe it's a good thing for it to go to trial so that we can lay this to rest. October 22, Peter Obi and everything he represents is a complete lie. Wow. They spent 3 hours justifying how it took 12 million from Anambra and invested in family business. Everyone around him is a liar for saying anything to the contrary. When I tried to leave, he offered me money as a thank you for coming. 2022, that was before the 2023 elections. Now, Peter Obi may be saying that what he said there damaged him and his campaign. I don't know. I don't know if you want to put that. On 3rd of September 2022, it says Peter Obi is the thief because he took billions of Anambra State money and put it in his family business. I've never held any public office and he lies for a living. Is a scam. He tried to give me money again. Tried to give me money. And I came online to expose him. That's why you are all angry. The real reason I stopped supporting Peter Obi was after I met him for a 3 hours meeting as his instance, of course, and he told me he's invested billions of Anambra State fund into his family business. And the man was even trying to justify it. So many other things he said. Again, I don't know how Peter Obi have some of this conversation. Because the problem is this. At times, he says so many things that when you chill and you reason it out, it's like he shouldn't have said that. And so I don't doubt this account of Peter of the Adeyanju's convo with Peter Obi. I don't doubt that. He might have said that just in the midst of the conversation. So it's left for us to kind of question Deji and say, okay, fine, this is what you're saying. Where your evidence is? But if he said that he told him during a personal conversation, if there's no recording, then it will also be difficult for us to prove that Peter Obi did not say that or Peter Obi said that. Now, lastly, the real reason I stopped supporting Peter Obi was after I met him for a 3 hours meeting. This was a personal decision after certain event took place. That was the meeting that they had. And he told me he invested that, yeah, okay, this is another, okay, yeah, just repeating that. And the man was even trying to justify it. I've read that one. So that's the last one. Now, this information publication, as deliberately intended by you, have been widely disseminated across the X platform and other social media outlets, including WhatsApp, Facebook. Our client has further been informed that you constantly republish this offensive statement on your other personal social media account, particularly your Facebook account operated under the name Adeyanju Deji. Quick question. Why is Peter Obi coming out now to sue this guy? Why? He didn't sue him in 22, 23, 24. Why is he suing him now in 2025? Let me take you back to a tweet. I'm still going to read this one, but let me just take you back to a tweet. Yeah, let me take you back to a tweet, and I'm gonna show you why. I think Omojua captured some observation. Okay, summarize. This was what he was trying to say. He said the strength and the power of Peter Obi that used to be the social media is now becoming his major downfall. That's what he said. That, Peter Obi's strength is now his own major downfall. And that's so crazy because now, for a while now, like he did a tweet yesterday and he deleted it almost immediately. Almost immediately. Sorry about that. So let's go. By describing our leader, our client as the leader of the mob, you first portrayed him as an anarchist and one inclined to instigate civil unrest, breaching the peace. No, that's what you are implying. Leader of the mob can imply that, oh, I just use this as, more like a metaphor, or I just use this just to describe the activity of some unruly elements on X. You cannot sue him for using the statement leader of the mob. When you had headless mob, when you had all those stuff, it's just a statement. Again, I'm saying you cannot use that. Now, furthermore, your business description of our clients as a bigot is equally defamatory and offensive. Yeah, maybe offensive, yes. Defamatory, well, you can argue that. Our client is a proven advocate of unity and inclusiveness, who has throughout his political career and private life constantly championed the cause of national cohesion and peaceful coexistence. Again, all those ones, these are all explanation. Beyond their apparent defamatory content, your statement were obviously also calculated to generate or do media sensationalism. That's what everybody on X do. Okay? Or does, rather. For your personal benefit, at the direct expense of our client's honor and ad-end reputation. This conduct is particularly egregious, given your public posture as a self-styled defender of the people, even while your action have inflicted serious and unjust harm on our client's good name. It's going to be very difficult to prove that. Notwithstanding the gravity of the unfounded allegation you've levied against our client, emphatically and unequivocally denies the said defamatory publication by you in their entirety and asserts that every such, let me see, oh, that's the last. Okay, that's the last. Okay, so that's it. Now, so many reactions. That's it. PO should retrace. I beg, Deji, no reach to be getting this attention. Oh my God. 100%. This guy knows what's up. This is a trap. Like, how would you get a lawyer not to advise you that this is crazy? Number one, the so-called freedom of speech is now what does not even hold again. Or people be like, oh, because somebody called him name, now he's going to sue him. What is he going to do when he becomes a president? And that's what some people are already tweeting. If anybody should be suing anybody, I'm telling you, they've called Tinubu worse names. Drug lord, this and that. For 60K. Even you, in your court case, you put it there. I was complicit in drug stuff. I think Pio is a small man. Okay, we'll see. Before people gazette, if I check this out, how can you look at this Deji of a man and not conclude that it's a controlled opposition sponsored by Tinubu? What really did Pio do that make Deji detest him in such a manner? The man was giving his all to make Nigeria better for everyone, no matter your tribe. Again, fair statement. Fair statement, but again, that's politics. This is not so. What I see here is a demand letter from Peter Obi's lawyer asking Deji to withdraw his defamation statement against Peter Obi. Failure to do that, he will be sued. Again, yeah, he will be sued. You're right. Probably not Peter Obi doing the suing directly. Probably one Obedient has decided to actually meet a lawyer in the mall, because this guy Deji is just too small for Peter Obi to be wasting his time. I think Obedient should sue the guy even more. Now, you can't sue him as an Obedient because there is no way for you to claim harm or damages. Obi should have ignored this distraction. This is not a small name within Nigeria political circle with access to this politician's deepest secret. Did he have the media in his hand because of his friend Shore? This alone can help him. Obi should know that Deji have whatever. So again, that's just it. So they're calling him to, to retract and apologize. And he's not going to do that. Deji will want to milk this as much as he can. Obi shouldn't be doing stuff like this. There are bigger cases for Obi to handle. But I don't know. It is what it is. Let me see what others are saying. Peter Obi dragging Deji to court just because he prefers Tinubu shows the type of tyrant he is. If this man ever becomes president, forget democracy. Obedience will turn Nigeria into a shrine where only their voice matters at this point. Obi should sue everyone. Wow. What an embarrassment. Deji Adeyanju sues the Queen of Blockhead and Peter Nton sues Deji. Meanwhile, Pips was stated as a defamatory tweet. What did we do to deserve this illiterate mob leader and his minion in our national politics? It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. I just feel that Obi moves to sue activist Deji over defamatory posts. Yeah. So again, correction is a retraction and an apology, which will not happen. We're gonna see if he's gonna get sued. We're gonna see if he's gonna get sued. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna see if he's gonna get sued, and that's the that's the bone of contention right now. Okay, moving on.